So this is going to be our final project for the IB Environmental Systems and Society course for this year. So I have a final project that I put here under our Canvas page. So let's click on that and see what's going on. So we've learned quite a few things this year, but I really want you to concentrate on the big ideas. We've learned about environmental value systems, whether they be ecocentric, anthropocentric, or technocentric, modeling systems, and loops. We've learned about trophic levels and biodiversity. Most importantly, we've been hitting hard on the idea of sustainability. And then finally, we finished up with population dynamics and carrying capacities. So we're going to try and cover all of these issues here by looking at an example. And the example I've chosen has been the X-Men movie. This one came out in 2000, so it's been a while, but still a great movie. Started a whole franchise here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the characters that we saw in that movie and we're going to treat them as if they weren't just individuals, but they were part of a species. So here are our characters. They're divided into two groups, actually, the X-Men League themselves, and then you had the Brotherhood of Mutants, their adversaries. So, for example, if Wolverine was one of the characters here, we're not going to consider him to be just an individual, but he was part of a whole species of Wolverines. So, got to use your imagination here, but it is a fantasy film, right? Okay. Working on that premise, we're going to go ahead and watch the movie. So I have the movie all teed up here for you. Probably take us about 2 days. It's about an hour and 45 minutes or so to watch this movie. And we're going to take notes while we watch the movie. And so I have a video guide here, and here are all the mutants I want you to keep track of. And what you're going to do is you're going to keep notes trying to use evidence from the movie. So we're going to talk about their niches. How does the mutant interact with its habitat? We're going to talk about if they're endangered, what limitations and weaknesses they might have. And then we're going to talk about evolution. Are the mutants changing in any way? Are they developing? Are they learning? And so I've given you an example here. I've watched the movie many, many times. So I've given you an example with Magneto. So his niche, yes, he has the ability, obviously, to control metals. And we saw this. Here's my evidence, right? We saw this early in the film as a child. He was breaking a gate during World War II that was made of metal. We've seen lots of other examples of him controlling metal throughout the movie here. But he cannot control plastic. And later on, here's my evidence, we see that they capture him and they lock him up in a totally plastic jail so he can't get out. Now, how is he changing? Well, he is trying to develop a plan to transform humans into mutants, and he thinks that way they'll come on over to his side. So that's kind of his idea of evolution. And he does make actually the comment in the movie that he believes that God just moves a little too slow on evolution. So what I want you to do is use your imagination as you watch the film and try and fill in for the other 8 mutants here. Then we're going to go ahead and have a little fun here. I want you to see what would happen. I'm going to assign you with one mutant from that list. I want you to make comments on all of them, but then I'm going to randomly assign. And if you could load up your own picture, I put mine here as an example. And let's say I was assigned Storm as my mutant. You will go to this site over here, face shape, and you can load both those pictures up in here, and then you can try it, you can mutate it, and see what you would look like as a mutant. Just kind of a fun thing to do. Now you can play around with it. If you go down here, it lets you kind of adjust the nose and lips, and you can clean up the pictures and make it a little more interesting. Once you get that picture, though, I want you to put your picture, obviously take mine away here, and Storm, whoever I signed you to, and then put in who your mutant species is that you will do most of your work on. Then we learned about R and K species. So I hope you remember what the difference is between an R and K species. I can't seem to say that a K species is. R species is one that has large litters, reproduces very quickly. K is exactly the opposite. So we would say insects are an R species. An elephant, for example, would be a K species. And what I want you to do is to take that species that I have assigned you and to go ahead and fill it out here and use reasons from the movie here. So I just had some fun with myself here, and I classified myself by using information from my teaching, obviously not from the movie, but you would go ahead and delete out all of this and put in your own reasons from the movie and then rate it. And once you get your score there, I gave myself a score out of 10. And if the scale goes from 5 to 15, because it had to be 1, 1, 1, 1, or 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, that's the maximum. So you'd be between 5 and 15. I then clicked on this, and I adjusted my picture to go in where I thought I was. So it looks like I'm kind of in between what we might call an I species, right? Intermediary. Okay. Then I want you to go ahead and, after you've watched the movie, I want you to make comments about the school that Dr. Xavier is putting together. Now, we talked about in situ and ex situ conservation methods. We would consider the school to be primarily an ex situ, almost like a zoo. However, we found that ex situ methods don't work great for all species. So again, for your species, we want to figure out if it would work. And we're going to start here by taking evidence from the movie. So evidence from the movie. Is the school an artificial environment, and why? Is it protected, and why? So give examples from the movie and then put down yes or no if it was. Finally, next we're going to do a classification tree. So you're going to take all of the mutants, all of them way up here. Where were they? There were 9 of them, right? And you're going to go ahead and try and do a dichotomous classification key. Now, I've put a little site on here for you to help do it. So if you go on to this one here, you don't have to enroll in it. You can just do a free trial on here. And it will allow you to punch in your pictures and then go ahead and put together an organizational scheme that will do a dichotomous tree. So I'll go ahead and just get out of this one here and sign in with my Google. And then I shouldn't have to register here. So now I come up here. Fantastic. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do various templates. Oh, let's suppose I chose this one here. And then off I go. I can go ahead and start fooling around. Edit this template. And then I can punch in my pictures and I can come up with a scheme. Okay, I'm just going to get out of this. And basically, we don't want to have these pictures in here. We're just going to put in the ones that we want. So I'm going to get rid of that. I have given you an example of one. You don't have to use this template if you don't want to. And obviously, you don't have to have this scheme. I would expect that you would have 9 branches at the end. And you're going to put in here how you separated them out and how you got to your final thing. I want everyone to start with the same question. Are they X-Men or Brotherhood? So we'd have, 5 of them come over here and 4 of them come over here. And then you'd separate these 4 into 2 and 2 and so on like that till you get down to the end. And then you'll paste in the picture of that. Then we're going to go ahead and do population dynamics. Now, I have given an example here again, but you'll go linking over here. And let's go to the data I have collected for all of them. So you'll find the one that you were assigned here, right? I have given you an example right here. And I said for winters, right, for me, this is how many males and females and the ages. And I generated this pyramid. It's very easy to do the pyramid. Just follow my instructions right down here. And once you have that pyramid in here, you'll click out my pyramid and paste yours in there. And then I want you to go ahead and describe the pyramid here using the knowledge that you've learned about the base and the sides and all kind of outstanding bulges and so forth. Then we're going to go ahead and do endangered species. Remember when we did the whole thing on the red list. And so I want you once again to put together a slideshow just like you did with the red list animals, except this time you will do your species that you have been assigned. I have given you an example over here. This is using me again, winters. So I went ahead and said, is winters an endangered species as a teacher? And then I went through and kind of tongue-in-cheek, I just went through and decided, yeah, I'm endangered. And I gave reasons why. And you will attach the link right down here for your slideshow. And that completes our final big project for this year.